Hey, what's up, Pinecone Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Today on the newest edition of the TP Art Collection, Opossum exclusive, one of ones that will be out there. I'll be handing out a good chunk of these at Card Party. Can't wait to meet everybody there, by the way. Hopefully this is something I can bring. I don't really know what I'm going to do at Card Party 100% other than walk around, just like meet people. That's going to be a cool thing. But I'll be bringing some of these. Speaking of, Munna is today's edition. Munna Gen 5 is absolutely fantastic. I love Black and White 2. And Munna is one of my favorite Pokemon designs from that actual era itself. I like most Pokemon from that one as well. There you go. Nice little drawing as well. There, you can see me actually going through the motions. Don't claim I'm not drawing these anymore. Yes, it's actually me. Those are my hands going through that stuff. It took a little bit. It's all sped up TikTok style and all that. But look, right there. Where am I drawing it, though? Am I actually on the toilet? You decide where I'm drawing this stuff at. Want to talk about this article I saw? Rattle did talk about this. You should go check out his video, too. I want to bring this up because I do think it's kind of funny where the blame is going for this whole thing, and it's going to be about Kurt's Card Care once again. This is probably going to be the last time I talk about the whole thing. I think it's going to be a problem that solves itself here with PSA and hopefully the other grading companies following suit, actually putting their foot down and saying, no, we do not want certain things on our cards. Here's what you can, and here's what you really shouldn't be doing. With that whole thing happening, hopefully this fucking problem just goes away on its own. Saw a nice little article, though. Want to talk about this because one of the main culprits here that's being proposed by Kurt over here is cancel culture is doing him in. Yes, people are trying to cancel him. Cancel the person putting chemicals on cards that is not allowed to be on cards per the grading companies and advertising that this will help improve your grade to get more money out of your cards. It's not me. That's him doing that stuff. He's the one that actually does that stuff and promotes it and fucking, shows the certs and all the comparisons. Like, hey, that's not even fucking claiming anything that's not true. It's on your actual page itself. So there you go. Let's get into this article. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Just want to go through it real quick and hopefully we can put this shit to bed. So Kurt's Card Care responds to ongoing battle with PSA. Kurt Cologne, he says he comes in peace. PSA says otherwise. That's a good headline right there. So this is in regards to the actual recent submission that was pushed up that got rejected because it was altered by Kurt's Card Care stuff. It got recently kicked back. It was a handful of sports cards. I'm pretty sure it goes over in this article. Let's go over that stuff. The battle between grader PSA and card cleaner and restorer Kurt's Card Care has reached a peak. Man, they didn't call you an alter. That's what I would personally call you, but that's just me. After PSA deactivated an order that included a Jackie Robinson card that was soaked in his card spray on Kurt's Card Care social media channel last Wednesday. He does do that. He actually shows all that stuff and then says, yeah, these are going up for grading. Here's what's going to happen. So he actively promotes that stuff for using this product in order to improve your grade, which the grading companies have now said they do not want that bullshit on their cards. Kurt Cologne, who sells Kurt's Card Care, a kit of products that allow collectors to restore their cards, alter their cards, so that they can get better grades, has turned into one of the more controversial characters in the hobby. That is very true. Restoring cards is a polarizing topic, as the perception of what a collector should be allowed to do with their card varies. Yeah, well, you know why this really isn't that big of a topic, or why this really isn't any area of discussion? Collectors can say whatever the hell they want, but most of the people who engage in this type of stuff are doing it in order to increase the grade and actually increase the money they're going to get back on their cards. And if the actual grading companies themselves they're trying to use are saying no, this should be a non-issue. This isn't anything like, you can have your opinion about what it is, but if the actual people you're trying to submit to have a problem with it, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. And you going behind their back is going to result in you fucking getting some things happening to you where your cards are going to get rejected and maybe banned from actually using that grading company altogether and have to go through somebody else. I do think if this stuff actually gets nicked in the butt, I do think people are just going to start going around and doing this shit underground, but them being able to identify cards that are going through is definitely going to be paradigm for actually stopping this bullshit, and I really hope it happens. Most believe smoothing out bumps and trying to get rid of small stains should be allowable, but the more extreme work, like the use of solvents, is more frowned upon. Gee, I wonder why. It's almost like these cards are made of fucking paper and like slight bits of follow foil in between the actual cardboard sheet. It's fucking weird, right? Well, why would people do it? They go right here. There are huge stakes involved. For example, if a PSA 3 $1,000 of a 1953 Robinson is then regraded at a PSA 6.5 $6,000, well, there you go. It's a $5,000 gain. With other cards, the chance to make more money exists. That's what people are doing with a lot of these cards, sports cards in particular, but Pokemon cards got that same treatment, even though these two cards are not the same. They have two different kinds of card stock, and it's openly said that vintage Pokemon cards do not have a protective layer on them. So soaking these cards or any of that bullshit is not cool. On April 10th, Cologne, who shows collectors how to use his products on his social media, took the Jackie Robinson card and soaked it in his card spray for about 20 minutes in order to get the stains off of the card. He told viewers that Robinson would take a couple days to dry, and he would then put it in a case and submit to PSA right there, going right against that full shit. Other cards that he treated, which Cologne told Collect were owned by a friend, were a 1952 Topps Willie Mays Topps, a 1955 Topps Sandy Koufax, a 1954 Topps Hanks Aaron, and a 1955 Roberto Clemente were also in the order and rejected, so it was multiple cards. PSA submission terms and conditions dictate that cards cannot be altered, and that's going to be where this whole shit comes down to. What did the actual person who's in charge of PSA say? We are fine with blowing on it or using a dab or water or using microfiber to clean it, said Ryan Hoge, president of Collectors parent company of PSA. But when you are doing much more, we are not on board. So that's literally where any conversation should end. That's where any fucking person should just put this stuff down. Like, Kurt, if you're watching, you should just literally put your shit down and be like, okay, on my website now, I need to start saying this is not to be used on graded cards, at the absolute very least. I know you can't control what other people do, but you should be like, oh, okay, not allowed. I completely understand that stuff. Yes, that's perfectly fine. Let me just update my actual website and let me actually go through and say, hey, don't use this for PSA, CGC, and BGS, who have all actively stated they do not approve of any kind of chemical altering, which you know damn good and well your shit is. Like, I mean, we can all say this, we can all say that. You know very damn good and well that soaking your card is changing your fucking card, bro. Like, we're not all stupid. We all know that that is what it is. It's just goofy. That should be the end of discussion. There should be no other thing about it. Like, it's fucking cut and dry. The parent company that you were trying to milk for money said no. PSA guarantees that cards that it grades will always uphold that grade, and if it doesn't, they're on the hook. Hoge says he can't guarantee a card that was improved by using solvents. We are the ones with the financial obligations, Hoge said. We are not comfortable grading these cards when we have to be standing behind them for years down the road, especially when you don't put any fucking ingredients on the actual product you're listing. So, yeah. It's not going to be on Kurt's Card Care if these fucking graded slabs come back and the cards just decide to disintegrate there. They turn into fucking pudding. They turn into a vanilla milkshake inside the actual slab. It's going to be on PSA. And PSA does not want to be held financially responsible for people using a foreign substance on cards that they are grading. That makes a good amount of sense. I really do think that makes sense. I'm sure Kurt, being the reasonable guy he is, can understand that bullshit, right? I'm sure he can. Malone does not disclose what ingredients are in his spray, although he maintains they're all natural and won't hurt the cardboard. Oh, they're all natural, huh? They're all natural. It's some all natural ingredients in there. Like, what is all natural? There's tons of things that are naturally occurring that could be very harmful for cards. And just because all the ingredients in there are naturally occurring doesn't mean if you don't mix them together, they make some kind of corrosive compound, bro. Like, there's all kinds of shit that happens with things that you put into cards. And look, I know you've been doing this a long time. I know your card altering business has been around. You've been doing this shit for a good long time, bro. But yeah, that's you're not even saying what's in the fucking spray, dude, because you're afraid your competition's gonna steal your prize quality card shit. I don't know, man. You're out of your mind with that. His website does that damage to the card using his product is not his responsibility. Oh, so you do understand the predicament that PSA is in. So you're not responsible if fucking Timmy grabs the fucking hair gel and puts it on the cards, right, and accidentally just wipes Charizard's face clean off the card and wants to talk to you about your product just completely ruining his card. That's on them. They should have practiced on a not so good card. They should have known better. They should have actually watched your live streams on how to alter cards properly. That's what should have happened here, right? Oh no, you're not financially responsible, but you want PSA and CGC and BGS to be responsible for people using your stuff on cards. You want people to be responsible for your bullshit. Like, you don't want to have any kind of financial shit. PSA and Daddy CGC needs to cover those bills. That is a very hypocritical statement right there. And the fact that you're not responsible for shit that happens with your stuff, but you want PSA and CGC and BGS to be responsible for it, shows what kind of a person you are, in my opinion. Cologne attributes the battle with PSA to cancel culture. My guy, I know for sure myself and like other people have never wanted to see you canceled. We've wanted people to not use this shit on cards and try to submit this to the grading companies when they put their foot down and said no. If the grading companies came out and said, yes, this stuff is allowed on your cards, feel free, go for it. We'll cover the bill if this stuff disintegrates. We'll fucking cover this if your cards turn into mummies inside our slabs. Then that'd be the fucking end of it. There would really be nothing else we could say. I would not be using the grading companies anymore. I would not be buying any recent certs or anything like that for people doing it. I definitely would not be. There's no fucking way. You couldn't get me to buy cards from someone who approved that stuff, but it would absolutely be allowed. The problem is PSA is putting their foot down, and you want to say that's cancel culture. That's canceling. You're trying to cancel me, bro. All I'm trying to do is make fucking cards be good for collectors. Definitely not for people that are trying to flip or resell cards or regrade them to get more money so they're not left holding the bag. It certainly isn't that. Yeah, it's cancel culture. That's why people have a problem with this. I'm sure that's what it is. I have nothing to hide, Cologne said. My videos are uncut. I'm showing people what I've been doing to my cards for 20 years. And the marketplace is clearly spoken. I have more than 20,000 customers using my product. It's the 5 or 6 trolls that scream the loudest to give me issues. My guy, I'm sure there is more than 5 or 6 people that are doing stuff. You got 20,000 customers. That's fantastic. How many people grade with these grading servers? Are you trying to convince them that you should be allowed to use this stuff? Are you trying to fucking come in and be like, Daddy PSA, if you saw my stuff in action, you'd really think this stuff. If you saw my cream that I make naturally on these cards in action, you'd think different, Ryan. You'd really think the troll accounts. What the fuck? You're a grown adult, man. You're a grown adult fucking doing this stuff to cards, and you want to complain about people having opinions about things. You are literally going against terms of service of all these fucking big grading companies, and you want to talk about other people. That's hilarious. I do this because I love it, Clone said, and here people are treating me like I'm some trimmer. You are you're basically an alter, man. Like, you really 100% are. You're not really that far off from someone doing other stuff. In fact, debatably, what you're doing might be worse long-term for cards. At least trimming, people can kind of identify that shit pretty easy. Your shit, it appears the grading companies are just now figuring out how to identify it, and there could be people long-term holding on to slushy cards. I mean, that really could happen. Malone said he's surprised PSA officials haven't called to talk to him. I come in peace and I'm really open-minded. Let's exchange practices and data with each other. Hoge said PSA is charged with staying ahead of the trends and giving the financial liability they have and something that restores a card changes its condition in the future years. They don't want to have anything to fucking do with it. Why do they need to talk to you? What are you going to do? What are you going to show them? Like, what's actually the point of you talking and exchanging data? Are you trying to convince them that your shit is better for cards long term? It's going to make people do that stuff better? Why would people want... I mean, let's fucking forget the splooge for a second. Why would someone want to be able to make PSA 10s? Why would someone want to be able to do that? Doesn't that take away from the chase of stuff? I mean, like, think about Pokemon cards, for example, with increased pull rates on certain things, right? Oh, you can pull Charizard cards super easy. Yeah, Charizard's a great Pokemon, but if they're just giving away Charizards, that's fucking kind of defeats the purpose of the chase, right? If you can pull a card that's an 8 from a set, but you working magic and all that stuff, you fucking splooging and jizzing all over cards, can make it a PSA 10. What makes that PSA 10 special? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you're going around these it baffles me that you want PSA to humor you. They put their foot down. They said no. You better respect that stuff, or things are probably going to happen to you off there. And I'm just saying that right now. I'm not an expert. All that shit's alleged. I don't know. I could just see some real bad things happening if you're allowing people to continuously do that stuff. And by the way, you got nothing to hide. Yeah, that's why you hide all the fucking cert numbers you do on your Instagram page, Mr. Kurtz Card Care, doing your Kurtz Card Care things. Look, best of luck to you. Hope well for you, but I'm really glad that PSA said no and rejected some shit y'all kicked up. I am really glad they did, because I think that's what you actually needed to see, where people in this hobby really stand with stuff. I don't care what flippers and fucking regraders have to say about this place. They're going to be gone the second the money is dried up from this place. It's the collectors and people who want fucking authentic, goddamn original cards from the factory whose opinions I care about. I'll humor you. I'll listen to whatever the fuck you have to say, but that's it, man. And the grading companies have said their shit. They don't want to pay for the bills whenever people get their fucking cards all splooshified and they turn into goddamn slip and slides in the cases. That's all I got. Appreciate it, Virgin. See you later. Oh, let's put this stuff to bed, man. People are going to end up with cards that look like they got put in blenders in there. 5 years from now, Timmy's going to be like, what happened to Mewtwo? I don't know. He was a solid card in there earlier.